show. The show is Bet Sleep Always Eat, Sleep and Talk Football. Yeah. So it's about seven days to the new Premier League season. So clubs have been moving in the marketplace. So we can have a discussion on. I have some people with me, so we'll have a discussion on how the teams seem to perform. And before we start, can someone what do you think the previous season was? Was it a good PL season? Did Liverpool win because they were the strongest team, or did they win because the other teams just couldn't match up?
So we either won because of the best team, or we won because all the other teams of the.
Or the PL was its worst.
By PL the other teams.
Yeah. The Premier League, the whole table was at its worst.
We included the other teams.
So did Liverpool win legitimately because they overpowered everyone, or other teams were just not good enough?
I think they overpowered.
I think they deserve it.
They deserve it.
So
Exactly.
but last season, the reason I ask is last season, the Premier League won the Europa League, and it also won the Champions League.
So who won the Champions League?
Yeah. So the previous season, not last season, the previous season before that, Champions League
Was won by
an English team.
Liverpool.
So this season, no English team won any of those European titles. So is it the PL was more competitive that we were unable to win the PL, or was it weaker as opposed to the season when Liverpool won the Champions League?
Me, I think Premier League first is overrated.
Why would you say it's overrated?
Because let's say an example of Champions League. Liverpool, in quotes, it is the best team in Premier, in quotes. Last season, they were beaten by this, by what's the name of this team? Meaning, Atletico are better than Liverpool.
Meaning, you are focusing on another title. Because
No, you are not focusing on another title.
we were focusing
You
on
wanted to win the Champions League.
We never said that. We said we wanted to win the
Who said?
we for over 20 years.
So, me, I think Premier is overrated. So that's why when we meet other teams like Bayern, Real, PSG, most of them dismantled
What I think,
Premier League teams.
In the Premier League, what mostly attracts the Premier League is physical than other leagues, but other leagues tactical, like Spanish teams, German teams. I mean the Germans, not all the German teams. Like Bayern, their tactics are tactically good than many English teams. Like the way Atletico Madrid knocked out Liverpool. It was all about the tactics. So it was not about which is the greater team. Yeah, so that's what I think.
But I don't believe the Premier League is overrated, because I believe
It's a good league.
the league is entertaining.
It's
No,
entertaining,
unlike
yeah.
a league where if Liverpool is on the top spot, like in Germany, a team continuously
Exactly,
wins.
yeah.
The league, you see, the ability
There's enough competition.
the ability that today you can say 7 days from now we are not sure which team will win. Yeah, but if the Bundesliga started today, we know the favorites.
Yeah.
The Serie A, we know the favorites. Yeah? Even La Liga, we know the favorites to win. So, but in the EPL, we have got at least 5 to 6 teams that you can show can challenge at any given time.
I think that's what mostly attracts people to the EPL. There are a lot of contenders, and like Spain, you only know 3 teams: Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, and Real Madrid. Germany, 2 teams: Bayern, Dortmund,
Or 3 like
or 3, Leipzig.
And in the
France, PSG. You see.
PSG.
So what attracts people to the Premier League is the number of contenders, like 6 to 8 contenders.
And also the the likelihood that even if you are a top team, if you're not up to par with whatever you're playing, you can be beaten. There's no this history we have been winning, so we deserve. If you want to bring the game, even the team that is about to be relegated will still beat you and be relegated. So I believe it's not as overrated as the time that we used to be told the Spanish league is the best because the Spanish teams were winning European cups. Because there's also the competition against these teams for 38 weeks, back and forth. You know, the Champions League is more a tournament where somebody can just be knocked out at some point. So luck can also be involved in people being knocked out. Yeah. So
wait, I have a question. Do you think if the money channeled to Premier League was the same money channeled to La Liga and other leagues, do you think they'll be more popular?
And I think that's why financial fair play came into the spotlight nowadays. Like it should balance how all the teams spend money. Like you say, no wonder these days a team like any team is afraid to spend as much money as you need to balance the books.
I think if there's also that issue because in the German league, Bayern has got more money and it keeps on poaching players from other teams that are contending with them. So even if Bayern wins, even if we celebrate they played well, they won the Champions League, you have to.
They've been spoon-fed.
Yeah, they keep on getting the best players from other title contenders. Unlike if an English team wants to get somebody from another English team, the cost is too high. You'd rather go to Germany and get a player in. Even the price may be high, but it will be not as substantial as when Manchester United were being asked to pay 50 million for Longstaff from Newcastle. So I think there's also the money issue, but at least in the Premier League the money is awarded at least for the best equally, because the team that goes down earns 200 million, that which is more than the team that wins the championship and comes up. See, so there's that need for you to fight to stay in the top four.
And also there's a point which I noted. Like you see the market nowadays, the market is ruined. The value of players are overrated nowadays. And one team, PSG, cost all this mess. If they hadn't signed Neymar for 200 million, trust me,
Benzema will
players
be 1 billion.
Yes.
Benzema.
Because immediately they paid that clause, 200 million. Nowadays, younger players, Havertz, not less than, he was signed for 75 million. 75. It is 85.
80 plus add-ons, riches and
If it was like 2 seasons ago, will Havertz be signed for the same money?
It will be
Around 50.
Because nowadays,
players like
a mid-level player goes for 350 and above.
Mbappe, if you had to sign Mbappe, you would like 300 million.
Mbappe is like 600.
Yeah, and
that's why I was saying
I
that.
think the market is saturated by that there are players that are overrated.
Yeah,
exactly.
For the price that PSG paid for Neymar, you would expect Neymar to be Cristiano Messi level. But he doesn't reach Cristiano Messi level in terms of consistency and also being a difference maker.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because
He doesn't show up in big matches like finals.
Yeah, because everybody has an example. If you're a Messi fan of Messi picking up Barcelona by himself, winning.
Neymar's never done that.
Which?
The PSG game.
But
Against which team?
PSG. Barcelona versus PSG.
But we can, if we had a
But it's not that consistent.
Yeah.
But doing like
but we have
Like Ronaldo, Messi,
Like he did it in one occasion.
Benzema.
And also, in that game, we can also, if we just took a fair view of it without any hulabaloo, without Barcelona supporter, we beat them. Yeah, there are some decisions in that game.
Exactly. I'm a Barcelona fan by that game.
Yeah.
We took many decisions.
We can.
Yeah,
That's
John, to
football.
be fair.
Decisions are football. Don't expect.
That's what we are saying.
Yeah.
Barcelona won, and it was Neymar part of the reason we won. We're not taking it away. We're not taking it away from Messi, but we can.
Me, my argument against players being that value, I think I'm not surprised a person can go for Neymar for that amount of money because football has become such a big, what do you call it, business. or industry. that teams can afford. The argument against that is that not all teams can afford to get players for that amount of money.
Yeah, that's why it's financial fair.
However, when you look at how football is at the moment, the amount of money the teams are making, it makes sense if some of the players,
Such as
I think
Benzema.
it's expected the value of players to continue rising.
Yeah, it's
Maybe it was sudden the fact that Neymar was taken for that amount of money, of which I believe he, one way or another, financially brought back money to the team in terms of sales and everything. Also, even bringing fans to the team. So the fact that Neymar was that value, I'm not surprised. But I hope that small teams hopefully can get, though when you look at small teams, I think small teams can come up with such players. And also sometimes small teams, like you've said in
the problem.
EPL, are the people who are going to benefit majorly from such sales of players for that amount.
I agree with you. Small teams come up with great players, but then once the great players show their potential, what happens?
They earn from those players.
They are soaked away from the small
It's
clubs.
rare
From the small clubs.
Business.
You find a small team will produce a player. The player will go for like 40 million to like a mid player for the club. He shines there for 2 seasons. Then he goes for like 150 million. You see, like the dude who drew something. I'm saying Dortmund. He went for
Jude
25.
Bellingham.
After like 2 seasons, I'm sure his price tag will be 100 plus.
The English player.
Yeah.
But
Should
also
be.
there's a caveat in all this. Have you noticed that the players that tend to go for a lot of money, apart from the Engels, when what is his name? Bale was there,
Was the highest.
highest.
Mhm.
Bale went to Real
Real
Madrid
Madrid, yeah.
and he delivered
Yeah.
for that price.
Yeah, he did.
See now Neymar went to PSG, he hasn't delivered for that money. Dembele has gone to
Barcelona
has not
Giants.
delivered.
Yeah.
Coutinho has gone to Barcelona, has not delivered.
And also to Bayern.
So the argument is you can be valuable,
But you don't deliver.
yeah, you can get sales back for the team and it's a business, it's okay. But also
you don't give.
yeah, because the club also has to earn because you have been bought to play football.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
They earn from your name, your brand.
But you have to help the club.
Yeah.
Because Neymar was bought for more than a player, he was a brand. People follow him. Imagine getting a person like Ronaldo. He's at
That's what
a
I'm
time
saying.
where he's maybe retiring, quote unquote.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
when you get
As
such
a
a
player.
player, it's more than just even playing football.
But you should.
Messi, a person like Messi is like playing football, but there are certain players, their name like Neymar, Ronaldo. I think even Mbappe is going
So-
to become money. Not
But-
just
Yeah,
a-
yeah.
But
Definitely.
my argument is it's okay, those business side of players I accept.
Yeah,
But the thing is we do not support Neymar because he's worth a
he's a
million.
brand ambassador.
Yeah, we support Neymar because when we go and
At the
watch
end of the
football,
day-
we want to see him
Yeah.
playing the football. So there's an argument that, from a business perspective, we cannot fall to PSG. For
That's the
whatever
club.
reason.
Us as the fans.
Yeah.
Also the
We
fans
need
are
to see the player. on
From
the pitch.
football, if you buy somebody for 200, you want him to be able to win you the Champions League.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because we have seen Messi win the Champions League for Barcelona. We've seen Cristiano do it
Yeah.
for Real Madrid.
And Benzema.
But Benzema.
Benzema.
You see, so there's that thing. So there was this rule about 5 substitutes. The Premier League has refused. But will you think it will have been a great addition to the sport, or do you think it will have
the
just
five
caused-
substitutes.
the five
How does it
substitutes?
work? Any time of the game or
Yeah.
after a certain time?
Is it any time?
Anytime.
Any time.
Instead of 3, they were to back it
It's
up.
not like the.
But it was because of Corona.
Yeah, yeah.
Who are going over fatigue.
Players are unfit.
How does Corona over fatigue? Oh,
Uh,
because
players-
so many
players are
games.
fit,
Yeah,
they have
much
to-
fit.
the games on tight shape.
But it in other leagues, I don't know if it has been discussed, but the option has been taken up. I don't know if it will apply in the same rules that you can make 5 substitutes in 3 occasions. As
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. That
Okay, for me, I don't think it would be healthy to the game as per se. Let's say a team is 1-0 ahead. The
Then
team
you-
that is 1-0 ahead, trust me, all the substitutes There'll be defenders. Nowadays.
Yeah.
Uh,
And the
It
problem
wouldn't- it
is,
wouldn't be
But
healthy.
I think it will be healthy to give the people who have played FIFA, the team management thing,
yeah,
whereby you're being sent an email by a player that you haven't given him space
yeah.
in a game. So I think it might be, it won't be healthy for the game because I think we are used to that 3 subs. And every sub is
And
important.
also equality for a game because
Yeah.
you can say if a small team is winning, they might put defenders.
Exactly.
But to
And not-
counter it
yeah.
is a team with depth and it's losing.
Exactly.
Can
Not
change
only
the whole
that.
setup and
Yeah.
then it-
And
They're not
and
only-
5 subs.
Yeah.
5 subs is the
and
whole
also it-
half a team.
Half a team.
Exactly.
So half a team can change.
Yeah,
And
and
you
also,
must
the
consider
outcome.
not all teams have the same squad depth as
But if you look at other sports like hockey, I think rugby, you can change the
Whole team.
But,
Yeah.
but the
And also you can
dynamics of
even
the
return-
sports are different.
Yeah,
But
basketball.
you can even return a player
A player.
back into the game.
Yeah.
yeah,
But you can see those are high scoring sports.
Hockey is not a scoring.
As in hockey, you can.
Our whole team.
But then the-
once the play is out, you can even return.
Technically speaking, those are very different sports.
different
the
sports.
application.
They're like football.
No, they are not the
They're
same.
not-
What's the
They are
difference?
very different sports.
It's a field, half, goalkeeper.
It's a technical
But
difference.
number of
they are
players,
technically different
relatively the
sports.
yeah, but we can say they could do that. But I believe also there's the risk that that what makes football the best sport in the world is that its rules are fixed and they don't just change
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
with somebody blinking.
Like,
So I believe
Because you can imagine
it will
if
take away the passion.
Yeah.
Like
you can imagine a team
VAR.
like
The VAR was introduced. The passion of football drastically reduced.
because you can imagine a team like Liverpool and Man City. They can change a whole team.
Exactly. Squad depth.
so. At least there's an argument for big teams will now dominate
Dominate.
rather than being put to the knife because they can only make changes in three occasions with 3 players. So unless those players are powerhouses that can change the entire game, the game is for the most part balanced. Yeah.
But it will help things like when a player has an injury. Remember the times where
Yeah, but that's why there's a limit of 3 to add the equality and fairness. So even if your 3 substitutes are up and you get an injury, that's bad luck to you. But to the fans, it's more exciting.
no, to the
Passion.
fans of the opponent.
Yeah, it's more
Yeah,
exciting.
that's a
That's
very
where
good-
And
the
that's the
That's
same
the
with
passion.
VAR. I support a team where rules go for my favor, to my side. I love.
Manchester.
In my own opinion, I
Yes.
love VAR.
Fernandes.
But at times, it takes away the freshness,
Yeah.
especially if you're neutral. But if you're sided to one side, today I'll love VAR, tomorrow I'll hate VAR.
Yeah. For them like that, I believe there is always an equalization because there are times that VR might favor Manchester United. There are times VR will favor Arsenal. Yeah. See, and when it's against you, fans always tend to.
Especially if you bet
Yeah.
and you,
Yeah.
you put no goal.
Yeah.
Then a goal is scored and it's removed by a finger. Offside.
Yeah, but
or a shoulder.
but if you don't have any, what do you call
You want
it?
to enjoy the goal.
Yeah, if you're just watching football, you might get mad, but I'm sure it always balances itself out because over a period of time, when VR is being used, I'm sure it's going to balance for every team to get something that
Every
we,
team
we can argue that it wasn't fair. Yeah,
So you said EPL, the 5 sub is not.
yeah. The teams met and said. it's
What about European,
the European leagues?
like Champions League and Europa?
No.
Yeah, I think even the UEFA.
No,
They refuse. They refuse.
Yeah.
So it's other leagues only.
Yeah, other individual leagues can decide for
There's
themselves.
no top league has 5 substitutes.
So
No top league.
top 5 leagues
No top 5.
in Europe. So do you think PL new boys will outperform the people that are there, or do you believe there are some that are just going to go back to where they came from?
Not all of them.
I believe Leeds will perform.
I also
Will
believe
stay up.
Leeds. Their coach is a very good coach.
West Brom, as much as the Leeds won. West Brom brought them to the wire. It's the last 3 games that, well, they decided not to play their best football, but they brought them to the wire.
Among all the teams.
I think I think all the teams need to be relegated in my opinion. Because I'm thinking of it's not like a list where number 1 Premier League, the last team Premier League, then it goes to number 1 Champions League. You'll add a championship. You'll find that those like a couple of teams at the championship level are above the quality. Because when you like most teams that are relegated, they end up being like middle of the table of the championship table.
Yeah.
Most of them. Actually, Newcastle done that. No,
Newcastle.
Such as Stoke.
Newcastle went down.
Stoke.
Then
Sunderland.
most of them
Stoke,
they
Sunderland.
disappear.
West Brom went
Blackburn.
down, came back.
Hey, Blackburn.
Yeah, but yeah.
Sunderland
Wigan.
Sunderland were
Yeah,
relegated twice.
So I think it will be a competitive.
Yeah, it will be
And
an
I
easy
think
route.
they'll give it their
Yeah,
own.
but you know, Fulham has gone through this thing again. They came up, they went down, they came back up.
I think West Ham will be relegated.
West Ham will what?
West Ham will be relegated.
West Ham.
Last season they performed poorly. Plus this season they already sold a couple of their star players. So next season.
Yeah, West Ham.
Aston Villa, I think it will also get relegated. I think it will be West Ham,
Yeah,
Aston
Aston Villa
Villa,
survived.
and like West
But
Aston Villa survived.
West Ham, you're underrating the team because it improved after the restart. So I believe the teams that might be relegated, Aston Villa, they were saved by a whisker. But the other teams, we have to say we have to wait and see
See
it.
how they play.
Yeah.
Because at
Well,
least
you never know.
Because at least in the Premier League, everything is a battle because nobody just gets relegated. Everybody fights
Yeah.
until the end. So I think for me, I believe Leeds might shine, but also they might go down because they are overhyped in my view. Yeah? They are overhyped. I believe West Brom might perform, but we don't know because as we have seen, Wolves came. They're a top table club. Sheffield, top table.
I think Leeds maybe they'll be like Wolves.
I see Leeds like it will be another version of Wolves.
Wolves, yeah.
Yeah, but at least it makes it exciting so that you know there are some teams that might go down.
But in like 2 seasons, it was top 10.
Yeah.
See, it started in the top 4, went to top 6.
Which team?
Now,
Leeds.
in
Oh,
the
Leeds.
top teams were
The top teams,
top 4.
top 4.
Then it went to top 6.
Yeah, and now
Then
at least
top
up,
8.
up to the number 8, they're all competitive.
Which team do you see in the so far in Premier League? Which team has improved majorly? A small team, not
Sheffield.
Sheffield.
In the not with 1 season.
Yeah.
I'm saying like 3 seasons.
Wolves.
Wolves.
I don't believe Wolves has improved because they also have a problem.
In my opinion, it's
consistency.
Yeah, they have but improvement. Can you say Wolves is better off
Improvement.
now
Uh-huh.
than it was when it came the other season?
in my opinion, it's Leicester. Okay, Leicester won the Premier League. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in terms of improvement.
But
Like
he-
Leicester
after,
lost
I
big
think
name
Leicester
players.
Europe like
but after
you can even forget the
After-
Like Leicester were challenging last season.
But after
That.
after the pandemic, after they came back, they
Yeah.
performed very poorly.
who?
I'm saying in terms of
Yeah,
like,
but-
Leicester
general.
after giving birth of the way for
Bad.
Vardy.
You can
After Vardy,
the entire team is one player.
See, Barcelona, the entire team is one.
But so you see, that is the
Vardy is one player.
Yeah, but we can see
He was my captain.
improvement. I can see Leicester.
Hey,
There's an
Leicester.
improvement. Like you can see Leicester don't
They
just
lost
play,
a couple of people.
They don't just play football.
Actually,
like,
it's not surprising for them to be like top 4.
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
And like if let's say Everton, as good as they have been, if Everton finished top 4, what would you say?
Yeah,
it will be a fluke to you more than
Manchester
perform
United.
Manchester United,
Yeah.
best team
Finishing
out
top 10. You're like, wow.
personally.
Manchester
Personally, I
United
believe
improved.
Manchester United improved.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think there's some form of witchcraft. I don't believe they ended up.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Yeah, but-
Hey, imagine there was a time I remember Brie had posted on WhatsApp. The first day, Arsenal were number 4, Man United were number 13, Tottenham were number 14.
But Man U.
But Tottenham is also a good team, but I don't know what happens with
I
Tottenham.
think Tottenham choke. They choke
But-
because of the
Choke.
Champions League.
But can we say now?
It makes
Let's now discuss now. PL teams are signing players. At
Yeah,
least
yeah.
the top 8 clubs. But we can say the whole Premier League, but the top 8 we have seen
I've signed
significant movements.
one or two players.
Yeah, now with those significant movements, what do you believe these teams are going to improve, or do you believe they are still going to choke?
Me, I think Chelsea. I think Chelsea will improve their game.
Okay, Chelsea
Yeah.
will improve, definitely.
And
They
also,
have signed quality players.
Arsenal. Arsenal
Arsenal will improve.
with Willian. I think you'll improve your game. I'm serious. I'm very serious. With
Yeah,
Willian.
okay. But all round, at least.
Arsenal will improve, maybe.
I believe the top
Not
team-
only because of the players,
Because me-
because of the coach.
Yeah.
Me-
And Ateta, you know, is a boy to Pep. So
I think the top 2 teams will remain the top 2 teams, in my opinion.
no.
I don't
Let me
think so.
continue.
Okay.
The top
Okay.
2 teams,
Uh-huh.
okay, but there will be competition from number 3. Actually, I believe it will be like Man U,
Stiff competition.
Arsenal, then Chelsea.
Me don't believe that
But the top 2 teams.
Me think
I
even
would be surprised.
No, I
you will be surprised who will
It
be
will
number
like
one.
the third or
Liverpool
fourth
will be
season.
replaced by Chelsea.
That.
Me think
Man U
I
are
think
sure.
John, I'm so sure
Actually,
you'll not be the same way you were
In my
last
opinion,
season.
I believe
Not.
it, Man U will be even ahead of Chelsea.
Of course, but
But it's like either
You are very bad.
But can you,
it's quite tricky for Liverpool to be ahead of City because at the end of the season and pre-season it's been a bit shaky. But I feel they're still confident. But the quality of football of Liverpool is not.
Okay,
the
which
same.
teams will be the top 4?
and don't lie, don't say Liverpool because they won last
Don't be
season.
biased.
So I'll say Liverpool because they won the Champions League the previous season. Then Man City.
Just
But
in random
those two-
order. In random order. No number 1,
So-
no number 2. Just top 4.
So number 1 and 2 random order Liverpool City.
Uh-huh.
No.
3,
Then 3, 4. I think Man U
Then Chelsea.
and Chelsea.
I also think.
That's what you think.
Then Arsenal number 5.
Yeah.
Me, I think
Tottenham number 6.
Manchester United
That's
number
what-
one.
Tottenham
Number
safe.
7.
yeah? So
Van de Beek number one.
This I don't believe the Wolves. This will be a very hard.
John, me, I'm so sure you'll not be
No,
the same
Everton
way
are also
as you were last season.
So
We'll
don't.
be even.
Don't say Wolves and there's Everton.
We have the best to the back.
we can also say, at least, me, I believe now, competition for in regards to Liverpool, I'm not sure what Liverpool
What to expect.
What to expect?
Yeah.
That is why
So
I'm-
Liverpool is what we'll call, even though they are champions, they are a dark horse as compared to City has got quality.
City will assume.
Yeah.
That's why I'm also saying with this coming season, you never know.
Yeah.
But me, I know top 4 there has to be City and Liverpool. Let me say Champions
Because of
League.
consistency.
There has to be those 2 teams. Now the other teams that it will be quite. I don't know why I'm not supporting Arsenal to be top 4, but
Arsenal
also
is,
I'm
it's a decent team. You guys are building.
I
You guys have to rebuild your team.
I have no problem
Yeah.
with Arsenal because even if anybody banters me as an Arsenal fan, at least there's no top team represented that we haven't beat. So. So
Because you guys
it's
need
not
to
like
build your team.
there are times that you cannot lay anything on Manchester City, you cannot lay anything on Liverpool because every time competition you're beaten. So at least at this point,
Yeah,
the top 8 is competitive.
very competitive.
Very competitive.
Very competitive.
So we are saying we are waiting to see how it will pan out. Because even if you see
by the way, I've said my top 4. Yeah. What is
And
your
which
thought?
which teams do you say have declined in the last like 10 years in the Premier League? Personally, I think Man U and Arsenal have really declined.
Yeah,
Since
because
they
you'll be selling people back.
yeah, since Ferguson retired,
Ferguson-
Man U has declined
Liverpool
drastically.
is-
Ferguson.
Since Ferguson retired, Man U,
But Liverpool would have beaten
Liverpool.
Ferguson, Man U, like nonsense.
Liverpool
Huh?
have
Even Man City. would
But
beat
we
them.
cannot.
No.
we cannot work on hypotheticals.
You can't say.
That is what
Hypotheticals is like if Wenger did not stay for 20 years, maybe Arsenal would have won the Champions League.
I'm not saying
It's
that. I'm saying in
hypothetical.
terms of
I know he's saying
I'm talking in terms
at
of points.
You're talking in terms of
at
hypothetical.
Klopp
Talking about
Liverpool.
in terms of
and
total
those
points in a
tactics.
season.
Tactics change.
You can't compare stats of Ferguson and stats of that manager of yours.
Liverpool has
those
more
are
points in a
different
season.
eras.
It's
Exactly.
Man City 10 and then Liverpool.
There are two different
You are
eras
different
completely,
people,
and
in
tactics
terms of
evolved.
football.
Tactics
So
In
this
terms of players, in terms of
So this
you cannot
period,
compare.
this period of players would have beaten that time.
But it's a hypothetical. I cannot
That is the only thing we can
I
argue.
cannot agree with
And
you.
I'm arguing in terms of points.
So do you think this team is better than Gerrard's team?
Kabisa in English.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I've never said so. Hey, this team. From which season?
The season you were with
to
Suarez.
Man City, even after Suarez. Because I think Liverpool are at a point where they don't
Imagine if Liverpool.
bend.
Imagine if
But it is
Liverpool had
hard.
Suarez instead.
If you had Suarez,
You had
definitely.
Prime Suarez, Mane.
Yeah, but
However, Liverpool is rather wrong.
But-
Especially after Salah.
But we cannot argue. I don't like arguing in hypotheticals because it becomes now a fun discussion on what I believe. Yeah, because
So I say-
Ferguson performed in the Premier League for 20 years. So if you come and say Klopp will have been better, then we don't know. You're arguing against
argument.
actual facts.
So in short, Klopp.
The same-
Five seasons.
Yeah, the same way. Yeah, the same way we can say, not Liverpool, Chelsea when they had Mourinho the first time, they were a better team than Liverpool at this time. You see, it's a fun discussion. It's not a matter of.
I'm just
It's
talking
not
about
realistic.
points.
Yeah, the thing is, you cannot talk about points because
Because that is the only constant.
it's like now in 1999, Manchester United won the treble. Has Liverpool ever won the treble?
Ask yourself.
We have never, but I'm
Call
saying-
your manager.
Yeah,
And Ferguson
Call
was the
Klopp.
coach.
Call Klopp and ask him.
Maybe I'm telling you, Liverpool.
But you see, I've given you.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah, something though.
I've added a
We're
question.
not playing against me. In my own opinion, I believe as years goes on, players become even more. What do you call it? Better.
Yeah, I'm not
The quality of players in a team.
Yeah, but
first of all,
now we cannot argue on
It's-
hypothetical because even if they are
But that's
better,
the only way
even
we
if they are
can have
better,
this
you cannot have this conversation
Yeah.
because it is Liverpool is
Something
winning,
that is-
so Liverpool is better than any other team.
Then it's something.
So
that-
if Liverpool declines from this season up to 2024,
Of which it would.
up to 2024, so you're working in hypotheticals the way you're working in hypotheticals.
Then John.
Why would it
2024
decline?
will Liverpool now become a bad team under Klopp?
It won't decline
Then
because
it's
with Klopp,
I'm giving you hypothetical.
Yes.
It's not about how I
you
feel.
see, hypothetical. You're working with statistics. From
No,
the time
you're not trying.
No, hypothetical. There's no statistics.
I mean, my own hypothetical.
There's no all of
Okay, so
hypothetical.
with that, I'm not talking about hypothetically. I'm saying Liverpool will have beaten.
And we are saying,
Man U.
and we are saying,
Mine is not hypothetical.
How
And
can
we are
you
saying-
not be
because-
hypothetical?
and we are saying you cannot win. You couldn't have beaten Liverpool
beaten, yeah.
because the closest you have come,
John.
2009, 2008 season, yeah, Liverpool was leading the Premier League.
Yeah. Then
Chelsea, not Chelsea. Liverpool was not Liverpool. Manchester United was behind by almost 10 points. In that season, Liverpool lost. They lost with 1 point.
Because they were losing games.
But what I'm trying to say, it is not that Liverpool has become a better, the biggest team now.
Good, really.
The biggest team now because in 2005 also, Liverpool won what? The Champions League. So the thing is, by hypothetical, it is assuming now the players are better now. as if Liverpool wasn't playing well without winning.
I'm not saying they are not playing well. I'm saying
That is the assumption you're giving.
No,
You're
me, I'm
giving they are
saying
not playing well because if
they are
players
playing
improve,
better,
When in terms of
significantly.
then now.
But let's-
football has gone.
yeah. But let's move
the
from.
services now.
But
like
let's
the
move
pitches,
from.
how players are treated. It's not like
Yeah.
last time.
But let's
the
move
previous
from.
players were hardcore.
But
You
let's
get an
also,
injury, you continue.
yeah. But also we can also say that the players that were good at their eras, as they improved, those players were also good. It's not that
They are good.
that Messi has become the most talented person, and the Baggios of their era,
They are not.
the Peles of their era, they're not as good. The Puskas,
That's good. That's why they stood
They are
out.
not as good. They were good.
Yeah, they were.
But you cannot compare.
In my opinion, I believe they'll come a time where they'll be a better player than Messi, than Ronaldo.
a-
That is why records are
But-
broken.
And that's what I'm saying. In terms of you see somebody playing football, the style of play that Messi has,
It's not there.
you can go and see that there are people that had that style. You see now what Messi and Cristiano did that is different in terms of what I view
That's
is the consistency of maintaining that level because most
Exactly.
of players
Yeah.
were going in, leveling off, and then
Exactly,
going,
yeah.
going down. But
Like
that
what
consistency-
Messi and Ronaldo have done, scoring like 50 goals. Like Messi, this season was a bad season for him. A bad season, 20 assists.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many goals. That is a good season for any other player. But for him, it's a.
But season.
That's why I'm saying those two players. What makes them good is consistency.
But also let's move on with the
Oh, yeah, I
discussion.
think you're top 14. I think we're top 14.
I said
Or
this
maybe
is-
that will be towards the end of the.
Yeah. We have to discuss. City has always been accused of buying the league because they buy top players, but now Chelsea has behaved the same way as City. So can we say Chelsea are buying the league in the same way City is accused most?
Business or for the team, it's okay. However, in terms of us, the fans, for example, if such a case happens where Man City, Chelsea, in Germany, you see how bad the league is because big teams are like taking all the best players from even the small teams, even the players from the small teams. They say they want to play for Bayern later in time. So for football, such a case like Man City were doing or are still doing, and Chelsea, I think it's not healthy for a league.
It's not healthy, but it's not wrong.
It's not.
If you can't compete in your own right, leave the league. Get
Once-
relegated
once
not
the
to
league-
run.
But the problem is, would you like the Premier League to be like the Bundesliga, where no matter how much Newcastle creates players,
Like-
they will always end up at Bayern, and Bayern will win and will be told that the champions of Bundesliga.
Like when you think of
Okay, it's something that you
Bundesliga,
wouldn't
you know
like.
the players of Bayern Munich.
Me think it won't happen like that.
Yes.
Okay,
And
it's something
that's
that you
what-
wouldn't like. Of course, one would like that, but it's something that will happen, definitely.
It's reality.
But
it's
also-
reality.
I think it's something that should be
But,
controlled
yeah.
even more.
It's being
stringently.
controlled.
More.
But
But you
but
can't
my
do
idea
it.
is also
Uh-huh.
that buying the best players does not mean you're going to win.
Yeah.
Because the example that I have in mind is AC Milan.
Exactly.
AC Milan bought players, Çalhanoğlu, Kessie, and they even bought Bonucci at some point.
Smaller teams are ahead of them. Lazio.
Yeah, you see, they bought those players, but they did not perform because getting good players is one thing,
Doesn't mean
but
you-
making them win is also because Barcelona, as much as we might fault them for how they are playing, they buy big players and they have not been playing well. Because managing of those big players is also good because if you remember last season we have been told when De Bruyne comes to City, when he's fit, they are going to run away with everything. They did not do so. At some point they were beaten by Loro Chuchu's relegated. So how you manage that talent is also important. But also there's something to be said in that FFP, financial fair play, should be at least applied in the best way possible so that when a team fails, it does not just go and buy every single person and then it starts again.
Yeah,
It has to be. And I believe UEFA comes for those teams. Like you believe Lyon is selling people because of those things. Because they're not balancing their books. Because even as much as City might be buying people, City sells players. They have sold Sane, they have sold Danilo.
Yeah.
You see, there is a balancing of those books, even if City has got the biggest talent.
Yes.
The biggest talent. So I believe there's a balance because also
There's a balance because
we cannot guarantee Chelsea will win anything at all, but we can say now they are at least favorites to win something.
I think they bought players because they came from a ban. So
Yeah. So can we say are Arsenal's contenders?
No.
Contenders not in the sense of
Let's-
winning the league.
But
Yeah?
top 4.
Not in the sense of winning the league, but in the sense of they can be difference makers whoever is on top.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
with William, definitely.
In my opinion, Arsenal are contenders for top 4. There are teams where it will be obvious they're going to be beaten by it.
Anything.
I think they're like
The underdogs of this season.
very good underdogs, not like the Wolves
yeah.
underdogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Top tier.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I'm not sure if they can be like number 1, but I'm sure they could be.
With alphabet, they can.
They can be.
But
Yeah,
I'm sure Arsenal cannot win the league.
I'm also sure.
I'm sure Arsenal cannot. It's not because there's not enough talent. It's sort of the way Liverpool was built. Slowly.
it's time.
Yeah,
It's time. It's time.
And you know Arsenal, as Arsenal, the management system at Arsenal, the management system is always strict. They are not going to go and give handouts as Chelsea. Their owner will give handouts for players to be bought. Yeah? It's either you've got the money at Arsenal or you don't. If your books aren't balanced, then Arsenal isn't buying players. Or if they cannot structure a deal that will work for them, then Arsenal is not getting those players. But in terms of the competitive nature of teams meeting each other in the league, and I'm sure they can contend with any big team that might be in pole position to win or in the top 8. So, alternatively, are Manchester United contenders?
Yeah, that's the thing.
For winning.
Yeah, for winning
Winning
the
the
league.
No.
Or to be difference maker, or to be different makers in the sense that Arsenal can be difference makers in the top part of the league.
I think there will be difference makers.
If we buy a striker. Because you don't have a striker. Martial is not a striker.
Man United don't need a striker right now.
Me think they need a
Why
striker.
don't they need a striker?
Martial is doing the job.
Martial
But
is
Martial is not. Martial is. Don't even mention that name.
As in, of late, he's
improved, but he's not.
Yeah,
I think
but-
Martial is using drugs. That's why he's not scoring.
As in, no, stop speaking like a
He's
man.
doing the job.
According to facts, he's doing the job that he's
No, it's not.
Greenwood
If
is doing the
we
job.
talk the facts, Greenwood is better than Martial this season.
No,
He's
who
better
has
than
more
Martial.
goals? Martial has more goals.
Yeah,
When
definitely.
you look at other teams,
Goals and appearances.
look at other teams and goals. When
Let's
you
say-
look
let's
at
say-
Liverpool, you know.
As in,
When you
Martial
look at
has more
Man
goals than
City,
Firmino.
you can. No, I'm saying there's Salah. There are people who
Martial,
score.
Salah is
Salah
a
and
striker.
Man. No,
Okay,
striker.
listen.
You are goal scorer.
Listen to one simple
Technically,
But
Salah is
he's-
like a striker attacker. Even
He
though
has.
Okay, listen to one
he's
simple
not a
thing.
But
striker.
Martial is not. that-
Martial, me, I think
Okay.
a person. who-
if Greenwood was given the same appearances as Martial, definitely he'll have more goals.
I'm
than
not
Martial.
refusing. Martial is a striker, but is he good enough for Manchester United?
He has.
Can you compare Martial to Lukaku?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
development.
definitely.
He has been around for quite a while.
Yeah,
quite
but
a while.
he's still a
Still.
young player. He's
Nah,
23.
You can't use that
That is
argument.
not
As in,
Martial
he-
has been developing from I don't know.
No.
3 seasons ago.
He's better than strikers in Liverpool. Deny?
He is, but
He is,
you need.
Which ones?
Liverpool has got
You
one
know-
striker.
But we scored.
But Stuart.
But their
That's
wingers are
right.
better than
But
Martial.
Stuart.
Significant.
One simple question.
Manu is
Can
a
you
player
rely on
that
Martial
is developing
to
right now.
Can you rely on Martial to win you the league?
I think you need
No.
a striker.
You can't.
But
And
that's
Manu,
why there's
Manu, you
Martial
need to
and
win a league. Manu, you
why-
need to win a league. Yes or no?
And Rashford.
Exactly. That's why you need a
Stop,
striker.
stop mentioning that name.
That's why there is multiple people for that position.
Wait, Rashford was a striker, right?
But back on point. You believe Manchester United need a striker?
Yes,
I
definitely.
also believe so.
Yeah.
Martial
I
is not
believe-
good enough. He's good, but not good enough. Yeah.
And you don't believe they need a
Currently,
striker?
no,
What do you
we
believe
need
Manchester
a
United
centre
wants?
back.
Yeah?
Kuna priority, there are priorities needed. We need a centre back.
We need a
more than
centre
we
back
need
and a
striker.
striker.
Because even we are the goals we are receiving are from wide and midfield. As in the goal department, we are comfortable. As in, we are not in trouble.
In the
scoring
goal
goals.
department?
Man United are not
Also
strong.
lacking in the goal.
The front three of Man United scored more goals than the front three of Liverpool.
There?
Front three of Man United scored more
They
goals
did.
last season than the front
They did
three
that
of
whatever.
Liverpool.
Combination of Mane na...
Mane, Salah, Firmino.
Yeah.
You know Salah was not scoring that much.
Rashford scored more goals.
But can you...
In
But
what-
Liverpool scored more goals
but-
than
but-
Mane.
in the coming
but
season,
also-
what Man United need,
So our goals are
striker
coming.
is not a priority.
But you can also put a caveat. Wait. You
And
can also put a
More goals
caveat.
than Man
Yeah?
We can also put a caveat.
Hey, Alexander-Arnold.
Manchester United were playing in the Europa League. So it has to be taken with some salt.
Grain of salt.
Yeah, with a grain of salt, because you're not like Liverpool that was meeting Atletico Madrid, Napoli, top tier teams.
See, we are not refusing.
So question marks have to be put so that your argument is not based on that statistic.
You
We
can
are not
base your argument
refusing
in
that.
EPL.
Man United, if you get a striker, will receive a striker. As in what we need for the coming season, in the striking department, that's not a priority. We can go comfortably in the season, finish number 3, whatever, number 2,
But
without
if you
needing
look at the
a
top
top
4
striker.
teams,
But
or the top 6
but
teams,
can I ask
think
you-
you lack...
yeah, but can I ask you, Stuart?
Man City has
Eh?
Man City has Aguero, Chelsea has Timo Werner,
Tottenham have Kane.
Yeah.
Arsenal has Aubameyang
Leicester
and
have
Lacazette.
Yeah.
Leicester have Vardy.
When you're looking for goals and maybe you're preparing
You need
your,
goals, you need
your
goals.
fantasy, what are the ways you put
Martial.
captain?
You'll put
from-
Martial ahead of.
Will you captain Martial?
Rashford.
Captain.
You will captain
Hey,
Rashford.
look at
Rashford is a
stats
wing.
last
He's
season.
more of a wing.
You will captain Rashford.
Yes.
Get it back.
As in, we are
No,
talking
talk-
about what
talk-
Man
talk-
United need
Yeah,
next
talk
season.
not as a fan, talk as
Yes, I'm
what you
talking about
You are preparing
what
your
Man
beliefs.
United needs
So
next season.
okay, let's
Okay,
let's
you need
not
a striker.
let's not falter. You're saying you need a
What
centre
Man
back.
United
You
need
don't need a
next
striker.
season, it's not a striker, it's a centre back.
Centre back. Okay.
So because you're saying that the goal scoring can be covered by
It
Rashford,
can be covered by
Martial,
the wings,
Fernandes.
Bruno, whatever, Pogba, they can do that job. They have done that job. It's not that it's something
So
that
you're
has
saying
not been
Liverpool,
done.
you're saying last season Manchester was losing because they did not have a centre back.
Yes, our defense was bad.
Eh? But also your keeper was bad.
Yes.
So-
That's why in the goalkeeping department we have Henderson. That issue has been solved.
It hasn't been solved because we are
Technically
very
speaking,
sure.
We haven't started the season.
we have a solution. If you want to miss
And me, I
that,
think-
So what is
there is a solution.
so which centre back would you like for Manchester United?
Now,
This
there's
centre back is
Koulibaly.
no centre back
Koulibaly.
that fits the Man United current profile of
Umtiti.
Umtiti. No
is a-
top
For a centre back, what do you need?
As in, they are
You need
the
a person.
You need a ball playing
no.
centre back and aerial
Yes,
centre back. What do
we
you
are not
need?
speaking as fans. Technically speaking, there are requirements a team requires when they are
For
signing.
centre back. Maybe
When they are signing
their
in,
Give an
position,
example,
you don't
give an
need-
example.
You need a person who does
Let him give an example.
Man United, when they are signing players, they are always below 26. No person, Soja.
So you want a defender below 26?
A long-term solution. And
But-
also, he's not someone that will grow into the role.
What I
we need
think-
an already established.
Yeah. What I
maybe
think you
like
guys
Harry
need.
Maguire. As a person who is already good,
Established,
not
yeah.
a person
What
that
what
will be good.
you guys might do well with Koulibaly because
But Koulibaly is old and
it doesn't matter for a centre back.
Yes, but,
Pique is old.
There are certain
yes,
positions. You need a
but
person who knows
as
how
in
to
this
do
is
his
a
job.
business, you don't just go buying people because you can buy.
Yeah.
There are certain criteria you have to meet.
You need to. You buy people
But-
because you want to win.
But-
Yes, but in order to win, there are certain criteria.
So the other
you
teams
have
that
to meet.
don't follow the criteria cannot win.
No,
So
they are
which
following the
defender do you think
criteria
will suit
according to
Man
their
United?
class.
Of which way they are.
As per now,
Yeah.
I've come to find in the Manchester United fan base, there are people that just don't like players because Manchester United have been winning. They have been winning for 20 years. Had been winning for 20 years.
You need
Now you'll find like Lindelof is a problem because as I've watched, he's bad. The same way I can say Pepe, though he contributed 18 goals. But you see, if you see Pepe
not
play,
up to par.
if you see Pepe play, you'll be angry. But the idea that I have for Manchester United, I believe
First of all, does Manchester United have a left back?
Yes.
You don't have a
Sure.
solid left back.
Look, sure.
Show injuries.
I believe
You need a left back.
that is
yeah.
better to be handled, and also at least a striker that can be depended upon.
We will call Marcel.
That's my view. Because most people don't are not in it for Lindelof. And personally, I do not feel Lindelof is the worst thing that can play for Manchester United. We have seen Mustafi. We have seen Papa.
Luis,
whatever his name is.
Socrates.
Yeah, we have seen
Papa
Luis.
Stapoulos.
Yeah.
Stapoulos.
So I believe the way, personally, may believe the way Ole is handling Manchester is the right way Manchester United should play. Because Manchester United plays direct football, it is counter-attack if you're not ready for them. So if they had a striker who could just
Me don't really
finish it.
think.
Like,
We didn't really have to sell.
did you see the game?
We, yeah.
Did you see Man United game against? Was it Sevilla? Did you see the chances that you guys are creating chances, but you're not finishing chances?
Me, the problem
You
I
see,
have
if
with
you had
Martial,
a top striker, Stuart, to be honest.
Yes, we are not refusing that we require a striker, but we do not need
At
a
the moment,
striker right
an
now.
urgent.
There are more urgent positions that you have to fill.
So
If we get, for
Why not get
example,
them on?
If for example, we get like Sancho, Greenwood will be moved to the side.
But you can get them all if you wanted to.
As in,
Like Chelsea.
like Chelsea.
yes, you can go and
Chelsea are
throw.
fixing all their
No,
problems.
you can go and throw money at the problem. That is something Man United has done since Nani left.
Yeah.
Ferguson. We
Yeah.
are throwing money everywhere. Akina Sanchez or
Yeah.
Di Maria.
Lukaku.
As in, we went in the money throwing
Why
way.
did you say Pogba?
We went throwing money.
Pogba is
It did not work.
Pogba is
That
better.
an argument for
Pogba
another
is
day.
better than any player of your team.
Which team? I
That
support
team you
and
support.
understand. Yes.
yeah,
But we
but the
went
idea-
the route of throwing money at the solution, being the big name players, it did not work.
But also, we can also say Manchester United has got this problem of we were champions.
Yeah.
And that problem is so much that until Ole was given this chance, it was always they have to win.
They had that
We don't
plan.
have to build, we have to win.
No, not be.
Yeah, they have to win, and now they have reached a point that they can build. So, personally, I'm not a Manchester United fan, but I do know I can trust Ole to perform because even when Manchester United was number 14 and Arsenal was number 4, you could see what was happening. I was an Arsenal fan, and I also saw in Arsenal that nothing was happening. Yeah? Because the
But
coach,
you could see.
but the coach there was no philosophy. There's always, I'm telling you, if you ever see a team playing, and they are unable to pass basics that can be trained, you know that whoever the coach is, you're bad even if you're top 4. That's the point is. I
Really
believe
will help you.
I can trust Ole for whatever they have bought. You say like now they have bought Van de Beek. In whatever small opinion I have in coaching, I don't know why they have bought Van de Beek.
Yeah, I don't know why. We could have bought a centre back.
In Van de Beek, we need more depth. Man United had a play over the route we were going will be over relying on Fernandes. If Fernandes and Pogba were injured,
There's
creating
McTominay.
as in Man United going
And Martin.
Right now, Man United are trying to build a competitive squad, multiple players for one position. If you look like in the striking position, 3 players, midfield, like 6 players are there.
Yeah.
Now we require in goalkeeping, we have 2 top whatever keepers. That's what Man United is trying to create depth in the squad. To let's say to be on the level of like Man City.
And that's why I'm saying, whatever the case, at least in my opinion, and at least some of us here, Manchester need a striker more than they need a centre back.
Many things.
We need a centre back more than
Yeah.
We can
So-
die with Bailey.
Yeah.
I also think
But
so.
at
I
least,
also think you
but
get
at least we can be sure. The question I asked before we went on this tangent is that Manchester United will be contenders.
Definitely.
Contenders?
Contenders as in they are able to disrupt the
But
people that
not
are on
contenders
top.
for the cup.
You never know.
Well,
Me, that is more.
that's the point. That's the point. We are not sure. of any team that.
Me, I'm sure
You are sure about top
there are
4?
2 contenders for the
Let's
cup.
say that.
And I hope I will not eat my words because I know I would, but there are 2 contenders.
No, last
So-
season you said you go unbeaten.
I said
Wait,
you will
those
win.
ones very.
But then you said you'll go unbeaten. That's why you had a problem
But
the time that you were
remember-
beaten.
Those ones very
I
fast.
remember when
I
you
say,
were
a
arguing
small
against
team
us.
will beat this
You were
game.
saying-
What
You
for?
said you
The ball
win.
you were saying that you will choke. You remember?
John, you know I have the recording
We were
of you
beaten
saying
the
you.
first half of the game.
You
But you said
No,
you will
last
choke.
season you said
You remember
also
you-
win Champions
you remember you said that
Went
you will
your
choke.
words very fast.
Yes, my last season, as per your words, is that season. Yes,
Right.
one
You
time.
went your words very fast.
Yeah, so now, the elephant in the room.
Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Will Liverpool still hold their own
Hold
this season?
Hold what?
Hold their own. Will
The
they,
quality
will
that
they,
they set.
will they
Will they
maintain
own?
own?
Other teams are
Will,
still
will they
Huh?
will they maintain the Premier League as as without the gap that they maintain, or will it be crossed and they not be
That will
among the top 2 teams?
that will be the first and the last season that Liverpool will perform like that. The first and the last.
Yes. This time we'll be unbeaten.
No, you'll never be
Apart
unbeaten.
from-
You can never be
Let me
unbeaten.
tell you, we will be top 2,
Yeah.
given outright.
Unbeaten.
You are
No question about it.
Okay.
Go to the bank because I think we have a recording.
Yeah.
Top 2.
Uh-huh.
About winning, let's wait and see.
Unbeaten.
But
Yeah?
let's say
At home.
No,
We
the
are beaten
question
at
is-
home. We'll continue.
so they will, you are saying they will hold their own.
They will, as in the quality, obviously, I don't expect that streak we had last season to continue this season.
Yeah.
Because there are other teams, obviously. And I think other teams will be looking towards beating us as opposed to the season.
Yeah.
Like Arsenal and assumably have been trying the last couple of games.
Yes, they will beat
They
Liverpool
don't
with
beat
William.
us
Definitely.
because we were unbeaten. And with that, obviously, the games will be significantly harder. So I'm sure we'll go unbeaten, but top 2. So what I'm hoping is you other teams, I'm not talking about Man City, to try and beat Man City so that at least we can have
Man
a
United
chance.
beat Man City last season.
I think
Don't
this
compare
is-
Man United with Man City.
Let us hope.
Yeah.
The only way we can win is Man City because I believe Man City. I think the quality of Man City is like consistent every season. As in they have. If there's a team you are sure they'll be top 2, is Man City.
Yeah.
Outright.
But we,
No
can,
question.
but we also have to bring into this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tottenham.
Tottenham.
Ah, yeah.
Tottenham,
You see, the thing is,
Yeah.
yeah, Tottenham have not been performing.
Sorry.
That is the truth. But now, at least in terms of my observations of how Mourinho now is running the team, unlike the way he was at Manchester United, yeah, he's building the team the way Mourinho builds his team. Now, we are not saying they are going to win the league. Yeah? At least we are not saying they are going to win the league.
I'm saying
But I'm saying they are going to be competitive enough that it's not going to be just Liverpool versus Tottenham, Manchester United versus Tottenham, and then everybody's running over each other. Yeah? They are a significant threat, the same way Manchester United, the same way Arsenal is enough of a threat that when those two teams meet, yeah, it is a game to take seriously. Otherwise, you'll be beaten because they're not slacking. Because I believe, personally, in terms of underdogs, even Arsenal is not an underdog.
That is what it is. I said they're not.
Tottenham has been performing in the top part of the table for a long time. They have not been winning, but they have been in the top part. Yeah, they've been choking a lot.
We are-
Yeah. But now we have somebody that we can be assured can manage that team. Yeah? And can manage it, at least in my view, better than Pochettino, because Pochettino had this thing that he will not play for the FA Cup because they are going to win the Champions League. See, it's a funny mentality for somebody that requires you, that wants to win something, to say that he doesn't want to win a cup and they are in a competitive team. Yeah? But I believe they are as dark horses as Arsenal can come and also do the same. Now, the other team is Leicester choked.
Leicester choked.
Realistically, Leicester could have finished number 2.
Vardy refused to talk.
Realistically. So will Leicester perform, or is their coach who has the, what is it called, track record of choking in the Premier League? It has been proven that he chokes. Do you believe they will perform better this season, or do you believe they are still going to now, because everybody knows they are a risk? Will they now face more competition the same way? Liverpool will face more competition.
It depends. It depends.
competition.
It depends if
Leicester will face.
Vardy will
stiff
get another
competition.
baby.
I think the other teams will be more competitive than, not necessarily that Leicester will drop competitively. It's like, let's say, Leicester last season were like at 95%. But this coming season, the other teams, Chelsea, will be at like 96. Will edge Leicester.
I think Leicester's
But also,
Leicester depend on Vardy. If Vardy comes with his A game, he'll be
but
content.
also we have to say, even if they performed dismally,
At
in the end of the season, they also had injuries in their team. It wasn't just Leicester were choking; they also had significant players that were out. Yeah? So at least we can say it's not that there's this ideology that I feel when you're talking about PL that there are teams that deserve to be in the top 4, and that if a team encroaches, it was good luck rather than they worked for it.
They worked for it, yeah.
Yeah. So my belief is that now that what's it called, that gap is being closed, because if you blink, Leicester is there. If you blink, Wolves is there. If you blink, Sheffield is there. Even Burnley is there. Yeah? And I believe now that's why, at least when you say the top 4, for me it's more open than it is that Liverpool will be there, City will be there. Yeah? It's open because as the way the teams are buying players, Everton is strengthening. Yeah, Wolves is strengthening. All those teams are buying it. The only thing we can say is that since, in terms of consistency, Liverpool and City have been consistent up there, and also I believe Chelsea. Or Tottenham has been there. You see, in terms of consistency, but you see,
Even
blink.
Leicester were rather consistent.
Yeah. So blink and you're out. Yeah? At least you can say, at least bar those top 2 teams that have proven that they have been consistently up there. But those 2 teams, the other thing is open. And now we are saying, because other teams are still strengthening, that hold of the top 2, that hold of the top 2 is also in jeopardy, because everybody can come and beat. So that's why the upcoming season seems to be so intense, as opposed even to last season, when we are not sure how it will unfold. Yeah, so I believe there is going to be an open top 4, or at least top 8. If people slack, you're going to be beaten.
But me, this season, I believe the usual top teams, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man U, I think they shine. I think this is a season where I think those 5 teams, they'll be like the top teams and the rest. I think this won't be a good season for Tottenham
At least.
In my opinion, I believe those 5 teams, they are seeing the season working out. I think that the teams that will be
So
really contending.
yeah, so now that as we wind up, is top 4 a measure of success, or does it depend on if my team is in the top 4?
In the Premier League, yes. Top 4 is the place to be. Considering let's say English Premier League is considered to be the best league in the world. So to be among the top 4, yes.
But can we say Leicester? Leicester finished top 4 in their top. If they maintained their course, they will have been top 2. Can we say they were successful if they were in the top 4?
Yes.
Can we say they are successful? Yeah, I think so.
I think with the
It's
quality,
not easy.
with the quality that is, as in not the quality, but the balance in teams in EPL, whereby you can, as you said, when you blink once, you're unajipata or even outside whatever top 8. I think top 4 is like not like the other teams. I think the other leagues we consider like number 1.
The other
Number
leagues is
two.
number one.
But top four in EPL, that's unusual.
Yeah, but you see, the argument now comes about because there was a time a team who used to finish top 4, namely Arsenal, and they were trolled for saying they finished top 4. You see, the problem is the idea that it is a success when it is us, and it is not success when it is the other people, because you can top 4 Champions League group stages, you're out.
Plus, I think right now it's more competitive than it was back then. Because back then it was top 4. Right now it's top 6.
Yeah, but the idea is it was always a measure of success.
Top four,
because-
even back then.
Because it was always a measure of success because everybody lose it. It was the thing that Manchester United were winning trophies. So the measure used to be trophies. So because now the question is, since Manchester United did not win any trophy and they finished the top 4, and Arsenal won a trophy and they finished number 8. Which is a more successful club?
Both
in
teams
2020.
in the league, Man United were more successful.
But as a team, as in that
As
season.
in, there are more aspects.
But
of
as
the
for that
league.
season, which was.
That's why there are different competitions.
No, but for season, imagine you're a player for that team.
In an overall league, trophies matter more. So, if technically speaking, Arsenal were considered to have a better season since they won a trophy.
I think I can say to Liverpool, last season was a far more successful season as opposed to the Champions League, the season where we won the Champions League. I think there's something about winning your home league for EPL clubs as opposed to other leagues. Not the other leagues like PSG, Bayern, they really don't win the Champions League.
The Champions League.
But I think to win an EPL cup, it's like a
It's
lot.
hard, so-
Try even to be top 4. That's what you want to really focus on.
So there's a measure in that top 4 is not easy to get.
It isn't.
So if you get it, it can be measured as success because at least now you have got access to the Champions League. And also you can, and in the Champions League you also have the ability to strengthen your team because players can come to your team to play for the Champions League. But also you can also say that trophies are also as important as finishing in the top 4. So that the measure of success is not that you got top 4, they won the FA, now at least, but they finished number 8, so they ain't good enough. See, so I believe the trophies matter, and the position in the table at least.
no bad, but each matter more. There are certain trophies that
The Premier League matters more than the EFL Cup.
Yeah, that's the truth. So the question is now, do you believe the PL clubs will challenge in Europe?
I strongly believe they will.
Let's remove Europa. Champions League.
They
You can
will.
also include Europa.
But Europa, the consistency that you have seen is that PL clubs tend to reach the final stages. They may not win it as often, but they are reaching those final stages. So at least you can say they challenge. For the most, I think in the past 3 seasons, there has been, or 5 seasons, there has
The
been
team in the semis.
in the semi and in the final.
In the final, semis final.
Yeah. So Champions League where we oscillate, but we had a team in the semi-final. Yeah. Yeah, we had a team in the semi-final, but will they challenge and will they win? Can they challenge the dominance of Bayern Munich?
Bayern Munich. Everybody's scared of Bayern Munich.
Every team is
in the world.
Champions League, it's more determined in the latter stages because the form of teams in the group stages and the knockout stages is usually significantly different. But like Bayern in the group stage, they were not, in general, they were not performing well.
But did Bayern lose any match?
They did.
As in the Champions League, yes, but in general, as a team, they were not the 8-2 killers. After they entered the group stage, hapo sana wakaanza ndio hiyo spirit ya that belief of they are going to win. That's where it came from.
Me really think Bayern. The thing Bayern likes is beating English clubs. That's the only thing there.
But also,
Yeah.
but I believe, personally, what I believe is,
London clubs.
London,
but I also believe,
London.
Me as a London. No.
but also the belief is they might be that, but the consistency of Bayern winning the Champions League, even if they beat English clubs, is not as consistent as, let's say, Real Madrid.
But-
So the thing is, we can say they beat this season, but everybody knows prepared for them this season. And also, we cannot put it past that it was a knockout, one game knockout competition. Maybe if they played grueling matches side to side when somebody is ready for them the next time round, maybe they could have, been what is it called? Where's that? So, but the question is, will PL challenge? Will City challenge? Because in the Champions League, I don't know, City choke, I can say they choke, because they reach semi-finals and they are beaten.
Hey, choke. The problem with us, Pep experiments a Champions League every damn time, man. This time he put De Bruyne as a winger,
And Sterling.
and he's never done that before. He does that at the most crucial stage. Me, Pep, I don't know.
You should let
He
Sterling.
experiments.
But I
And
believe,
Sterling misses.
Sterling.
He misses at the crucial games.
Sterling.
my belief is, me as a person that supports football, I don't believe Bayern did something that was so spectacularly out of this world. Yeah, because
Me-
I believe
Hey, me, I think they did.
in this coming games, because in this coming games, I believe the following season everybody has got their number, and everybody is going to now play harder for that.
Yeah.
For that, because in
What
the
I
group
believe-
stage,
If Bayern had met an equally strong opponent, like you saw the way Nini, Leon kimbizad Bayern manze.
But Bayern is Bayern. I think
Bayern
Yeah, I
is
think
Bayern,
if
but
there's
it's
a-
Bayern.
if there's a team that is really all around in terms of Champions League, or if there's a team that everybody says a contender over Champions League tournament for a very long time, it's Bayern.
Bayern.
I think they're the most. I think in order to beat Bayern, you need to give like 150 or even 10% of your game. I think Bayern.
but
I don't think
but
so.
most teams also.
I don't think so.
But most teams
John.
that are top, apart from I don't know what is happening with Barcelona, when it reaches semi-finals, it takes a grueling match to knock them out. Because
Like you
every team
remember
is playing.
when Real beat Bayern 4-0, sijui first leg. Hey,
Was it
I'm
that
telling
game
you.
where they got a record from Vidal and stuff?
Yeah. It was.
But you see, the idea.
Bayern.
But you see, any team, I don't think Real are just staying and then saying that you are afraid you're going to meet Bayern.
And that is what happens.
Unlike the time that now Barcelona used to play tiki-taka, now Barcelona was feared team because
Feared team.
it doesn't matter how well you're defending in a block, in a deep block, you're still going to be beaten. Yeah, but you see, I believe, this is my belief, that if they met Liverpool in that Barcelona game,
It will be different.
yeah, because
That's what I'm
Liverpool will come at them the same way they were coming at them.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Bayern didn't meet
And I think that
They didn't
that
meet
is
a
what happens to like
contender
City
like them.
or certain teams in the EPL. People don't. I think people in EPL, most teams are afraid of Man City. But when it comes to the Champions League, teams like Man City, and I don't think Man City even can win the whatever the coming Champions League.
They can't.
I think easy teams who are the journey.
They don't give a
City,
fuck.
They don't
Yeah.
give about.
Huh?
If they just dribble the journey.
Right. They
They
don't,
don't
care.
care about Man City. But when it comes to Bayern, I think Bayern are,
They care.
or they care about.
But that's what I'm saying. Even anybody that meets Real Madrid next season will just be as caring of Real Madrid as they are of Bayern.
Bayern.
If they meet Atletico Madrid, the same thing. Even Liverpool, if they meet Liverpool, the same thing will be applied.
And I think the Champions League has some form of luck. In terms of,
It's like
there's nothing
you
like
never know.
there's nothing like transitivity most of the time in the Champions League.
Yeah.
You can be lucky whereby Man City, they're given like another team, but on chapa. But
Yeah.
when that team is given like a big team,
A
like
big
maybe
team.
PSG
They
or
beat them.
whatever, or- I think it's some form of luck.
It's
Yeah,
luck,
because,
baby.
because if you find if Real Madrid had won at Lyon, or Juventus, maybe Juventus had won at Lyon. And
Then they meet.
yeah, and they moved. Maybe this Champions League will have been played in a different fashion
Yeah.
because they will have met teams that are at least at par in strength.
Exactly,
They will give as good as they get. So I believe at least the PL can challenge, but I believe also that the PL also trains players because in the PL, yeah, if there is no that at oh you're a big team and you're meeting Newcastle, a small team, and now Newcastle will just let you run them ragged. Yeah, because if you blink, you're being beaten by Newcastle, not the best team in the league, but you're being beaten by Newcastle. Yeah, so I believe they'll challenge. So as we wind up, yeah.
Me personally, I don't believe the EPL will challenge significantly there. Especially the amount of work they're supposed to put in the league this time.
But at least you can say they'll give enough of a challenge to any team that.
But I don't-
Definitely, same is.
Yeah,
But I don't-
and I believe they're trying to automize because next season FA Cup there's no replays. Yeah, you finish the game, you haven't won, penalties, people keep moving.
Oh, there's no second leg.
Yeah, there's no replay of FA games if people draw. So that now at least you're not.
So
Going
it will
to-
be played in a neutral ground every time.
No, if you go, if it's I think maybe
Oh,
In a
Just
proper
say-
neutral, come on.
The neutral is the
semi-finals.
semi-finals.
I'm saying when you see the EPL joins the FA in January, yeah, since the season starts, the FA is always been played. So if Liverpool meets Reading and they draw, it's penalties. Whoever wins proceeds to the next round. So at least a lot of labour has been removed, and also at least for some time now, PL teams are going to be given at least 2 weeks winter break. They're not to go and meet a Bayern team that has stayed 3 weeks without playing. And they come and meet somebody that has been playing the FA Cup, have been playing the PL every 3 days. So I believe not challenge to win, but at least things to be at least addressed. Teams will prepare for them. Yeah, so I believe it will challenge, but all round, I believe this my top 4. Yeah? Top 4 randomly, no order. I believe there will be Liverpool, there will be Manchester City. Yeah? I believe Tottenham will be there, and most probably Manchester United.
Tumebakisha Man.
Chelsea, Man U, Liverpool, Man City.
Manchester United.
In no order at all.
In no order at all. Number 1, Manchester. No order at all. Manchester United. I think Chelsea. Man City. Then Liverpool.
Me, I want to.
In no order at all.
No order at all.
In order. In no order again. Chelsea, Man City, Man U, Liverpool.
I want to try to be the order. I want to remove Man
You
U.
already said yours.
Yeah, I want to remove Man U and put Arsenal.
Yeah. So
And it's not good.
Which
But me, I have an order. Me, I'm
which
not
Premier
afraid.
League?
I am the top 2. Top 2 given. 3 and 4 and all of that. I might go Man U, Arsenal.
you give us your top 4.
The top 2 is obvious. Liverpool, Man City, no order at all.
Yeah.
Then, I'm a new Arsenal. I'm a Chelsea Arsenal. I'm a Chelsea Man U. I don't know.
Well,
I'm a equal top 5.
okay, so that has been